kind of looks like someone dropped the NW map in a blender.
It looks like that time that it was glitched and it just blinked all over the place.
No, because that was just constant back and forth with it. I'm gonna lose my goddamn mind in this fight.
No, you're not. We're almost there.
We have 10 people in here now. We had 8. And somehow, offense still grabbed the flag.
What?
An offense of 1.
I see him too. Hold on, trying to get to him.
Oh, I got him.
He's stunned in the air. Oh, Ripperino.
That glitched out a squad.
I
I
got
was
him.
about to say that.
I'm headed west. Yeah, I think that's west. Left now.
He left.
I hit him for 30k, so I mean...
Have to touch their butt.
I like the way you think.
Each 7. Since you guys don't need help in B10.
He's gonna touch the butt, guys. Holy sh!
Not the butt!
Dad, look what kind of influence you've had on my husband.
I'm pretty sure I was corrupted of my butts before I even met him.
Yeah, but I thought you had a thing for my butt.
That's
See,
the best
here's-
one.
Yeah, exactly. Here's the thing. Men appreciate most butts. However, the butt of their woman is by far the best. Because it's the only one they're actually allowed to touch and won't get yelled at. Or arrested. Arrested's the big part about it. You know, yelled at, we just walk away and say, "Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to."
It was an accident, twice.
The arrested part, then somebody's gonna touch your butt, and that's where the issues start.
I'm gonna have to agree with
I need
that.
to have a side then.
You guys are great. And we're doing this all in OBS, just FYI.
Oh, we know.
They're fine.
If we 2x this, it'll sound like chipmunks talking. It'll be great.
Could you imagine a chipmunk explaining why a man's girlfriend's butt is the best butt?
I don't have to, it's gonna be done in like 3 hours.
Right?
Oh god, this is gonna be so good.
You need help, Thea?
Yeah.
Never mind.
If you chipmunk my voice, does it just sound like a normal voice at that point?
Wait, which story?
Wait,
The shitty mailbox story?
Wait, what?
yeah, I haven't heard that yet.
Oh,
Hear your
God.
story.
Oh god, how do I start that one?
So what happened was...
You see, what had happened was, me and my brother, we were like 12, 13 years old at the time. It was around the time the Xbox 360 had actually just come out. And we weren't playing the Xbox 360 yet. We were just running around the neighborhood being hooligans, dicking around, whatever. The neighbor across the street from his house, though, was, and probably still is, a cunt. For privacy's sake, we'll call her Sandy, because that was her name.
For privacy's sake.
So she's sitting there, she spends about 5 minutes yelling at us, saying we have to stay off her lawn, and this, that, and the other. She was always very touchy about her property. And this really irked the shit out of my brother. I just kind of said, yeah, whatever, fuck you. And so, fast forward a couple hours, and my brother's still thoroughly annoyed with the fact that he got scolded for running around on the sidewalk. Justifiably annoyed. Maybe not to the extent that he was actually annoyed, though. So, I look at him, and I say, dude, you just need to calm down. It's not that big a deal. She's always been a bitch. He says, no, fuck that. I know exactly what I'm doing. Now, at this point, she had left and gone God knows where. We had hoped off a cliff, but realistically, we live in Florida. There are no cliffs. He goes through the garage out of his house and gets the stepladder. And proceeds to walk across the street. And this is briefly after the mailman had just come. Gets up on the stepladder and just unloads a massive bowel movement into this lady's mailbox. All over her mail.
I seriously did not see this being literal.
So,
I'm so happy.
for an hour or so, and she comes home. And the first thing she does is checks her mail. And she's so in a routine that she doesn't even have to look to check her mail. So she reaches into the mailbox,
Ugh.
sets her hand down on the mail, and we just hear screams of terror and disgust from the stench that was probably there. I was watching him from across the street, so I couldn't smell anything. But God forbid what that smelled like.
No, oh, I can't, ugh.
Much less felt like
It had to have been like oven hot.
in a warm summer day.
This is what your one story, or pickle story reminded me of. JB's story.
That's so amazingly disturbing.
Fast forward another hour or two. My brother's mother comes home. And I call him my brother simply because we've known each other since we were literally 4. So for 2 decades I have known this person at this point. And she takes a little bit longer to come in. And she's talking to Sandy across the street. We have a feeling we know what's being discussed, but we can't go outside because she's immediately going to say, it was that one right there, pointing at either of us, because for all she know, it was either of us. She couldn't prove it, though, shortly after she had cameras installed on her property.
Jesus.
Bitch.
H7, I can't win.
Is it that far gone?
No, there's Rip and who else?
G11 just got over, so.
Spoiler.
H7, there's
Jesus.
Twilight, baby.
But I just started G6, and I'm fly.
Continue with your story.
So, his mother finally comes in and walks into his room and says, "Hey Luke, I just want to let you know, if nobody's checked your mail today, to be careful. According to Sandy, somebody shit in her mailbox."
You probably started cracking up.
I couldn't make eye contact with her, so I was just pretending that I was really good at what I was doing, and just kind of brushed her off and said, "Okay, thanks, I'll call my mom and let her know."
Oh my god.
As soon as we heard his mother's bedroom door shut, we died.
If anybody's near A15, I could use a little bit of help. I can get there. One's here. I'm good.
And that's the story about the time my brother shit in his neighbor's mailbox.